Hello.
We out you. Hi. We haven't hung out in so long.
I know. That sucks.
Holiday week. What can we do?
But we are going on a triple date.
Yeah.
I love that.
I know.
Can't believe you got reservations for the purple.
This is what I do.
Girl, the
I'm just
purple
kidding.
pig is so hard to get into. That is so crazy of you.
We booked this like a month ago. Randomly drunk. We were all hanging out and we were like, oh, let's go. I got a reservation. Date. And I'm pretty sure it's one of those places that you can only book 30 days in advance. And I'm pretty sure it would have been like exactly 30 days.
If you're ever in Chicago, you need to go to the Purple Pig. You have to go.
So is it technically Mediterranean food?
I don't know what kind of food it is, if I'm being honest.
Well, that's what it says.
It says it's Mediterranean.
On Yelp, it's like Mediterranean.
I don't think it's Mediterranean. It's like...
Because it's like lamb shanks and stuff like that.
Okay, but the tuna tartare is not like Mediterranean. So I think it's like American.
I could just be making that up too.
Is tuna tartare American?
You know how many restaurants I look at a day?
You all need to follow Emily's food account. She is a fucking chef if I've ever seen one. I only hang out with chefs. Because when Coco, which people keep reaching out to me being like, is Coco your dog? Or, hold on. Coco is my boyfriend.
It is a pet name.
I will tell you why, probably in this episode, why I came up with this name. Anyways, he's a chef, and then Emily is a chef. So when Coco's out of town, I'm like, hey, Emily, what's up?
Oh, when Coco is out of town, I'm like, oh no. What's Mar gonna do? And I immediately plot every meal for the week.
She's like, hey, like, do you need food? Like, I gotta do this. And I'm like, other than that, if Coco or Emily is not cooking for me, I'm probably making a very sad salad. And like,
okay, give yourself some credit. You do make fire bowls. Like,
bowls are my specialty.
Yes,
because all you have to do is put things together.
That's true. They are like raw bowls.
Yeah.
I always tell you remind me of my friend Thalia. She used to press me so hard, like, you need to go raw. I didn't like the way that sounded at all. No.
Guys, Emily lost my crumble.
I didn't lose it. I know where it is.
I made an apple crumble and I said, here you go, bestie. I want to give you a gift. And she said, cool. She came and picked it up. Nowhere to be found.
Okay,
please tell them where it's at.
Listen, I was going to the lake for the weekend and we were driving to Mars, or we were driving to mine to pick something up, but we stopped at Mars to pick up something, and she brought out the apple crumble, which was so nice, so thoughtful, and I was like, wow, what a treat for the lake house. And so we brought it to the lake house, which in hindsight, you know what happens at lake houses. We do be getting lit.
Getting drunk.
But I was like, that would be a nice treat. We forgot about it.
And there it is.
And
there it is.
Okay,
and here's the thing. No, Emily's been silent. She was silent. I was like, I'm waiting for Emily, because every time I make something for Emily, she texts me and she'll tell me what's up. Like, if it's good, or she's like, oh my God, like, you know, like she'll give me her feedback. Zero. No text. I'm like, something happened to the apple crumble.
Dude, the thing is, I remembered like almost like we left on Sunday, and I remembered when we were in the car on the way home, and I was like, Kevin, like, text Dave and tell him to pick up the apple crumble, and like you can grab it from him and we can eat it. And he was like, I'm not doing that. Like,
it's too late.
Yeah. Well, he's
as long
just
as
like,
if it's in the freezer, then it's in the freezer.
It is in the freezer.
So
and
one day you'll have an apple crumble.
Maybe I'll have Kevin like text Ryan or something and be like, save the apple crumble. Anyway,
welcome back. Welcome back to Retired Chaos. We are chaotic. We've been drinking. As if this is anything new for anybody that listens.
Listen, it's been a freaking long week.
I am enjoying fun employment. I have recently become a housewife, self-proclaimed. This is a self-proclaimed thing. I'm not actually a wife. I'm still a girlfriend. But to me, I'm doing housewife duties. And housewife duties involve me getting up really late. Maybe I'm not a great housewife. I'm a housewife in training. But Emily has been working a shit ton. And
yeah,
now...
like the roles have reversed.
Yeah.
Because I was being a housewife even when I was single. I'm like, I'm just living in my housewife era, like, you know, cooking every meal. And now it's like, oh,
She
no.
was like sleeping. She's like, oh, woke up super late. But now her
Yeah.
company is like,
sleeping till 10.
Yeah, sleeping till 10. And now her company's like, hey, you want more workload? And she was like, yeah, I do.
Yeah.
And now what's happened?
Yeah. And they took that personally. But you know what? This is what happens. This is growth, baby.
Growth.
And I'm on board.
Adults.
Yes.
We have real jobs and we do
Yeah.
this at nighttime.
Yes. This is a side hustle, baby.
But welcome back. We wanted to save this episode for the holidays. And maybe a lot of you are either breaking up with your boyfriends right now or girlfriends.
Yeah, it's either cuffing season or
breakup season.
Yeah, breakup season.
And let me tell you, if you're waiting till after the holidays to break up with somebody, don't do that. Just fucking break up with them. Do not wait till after the holidays. I think that is so fucked up.
I thought that people would break up before the holidays.
You need
so they're
to.
like, no gifts.
This is me time. I'm saving money. Yeah. We can talk about getting back together after the holidays.
I feel that.
But for me and Emily, it's different. We are cuffed all the way up.
Yeah, we started with some fucking crushes, though.
We are super crushing. I feel like we're both crushing, but I feel like we're both in different stages, but we're both crushing in different ways. Like, I have been in my relationship for almost a year and a half, and you just started.
Yeah.
But I'm still crushing.
Yeah.
And you're still crushing, obviously. She's in the beginning. God. She's in the honeymoon stage.
Yeah.
Which I think honeymoon stages don't end. They shouldn't.
They shouldn't. They better
should not end. They should not end.
They better not. I mean, how do you know that you're really crushing?
I think that when you're crushing, I think you have to define, like, whether you're, like, crushing or, like, you're in this idea of somebody.
Yes.
I think that you can like somebody, and depending on what stage you are in your life, you like the idea of what it can be versus she's like, I know this shit. Yeah.
Been
versus
there, done that.
The idea of somebody versus crushing them because it's like, okay, I really do see a future and it's working out really great. And because of those reasons, I'm crushing.
Yeah.
You know, versus like, oh, I like the idea and maybe I can change this person, or maybe we can get that there.
Yeah.
And I can get it there. If there's ever a time where you're crushing on someone, but you're like, yeah, I see the red flags, but I can change them.
Oof. Hit me where it hurts.
Yeah, that's gonna end bad, and I know from experience. So today we're gonna talk about crushes, bitches with crushes, because Emily and I are bitches with crushes.
Yeah.
But we've also had crushes that have fallen short,
to say the least.
Yeah, and we have fallen flat on our face.
I don't crush often, but when I do, it's pretty intense, I would say. And I am, like, totally inclined to ignore red flags.
I think that's a big thing with with crushes.
Yeah.
You totally ignore the red flags, especially in the beginning, because it's like, oh, it's okay, or, oh, we'll build into it, or, oh, I can change them. And in the beginning, you see red flags, and because you have a crush, you ignore them.
I think for me, like, I don't necessarily see them as red flags while I'm in it. I'm almost, like, jaded with the good that I see in somebody, that I don't want to say ignore them, but I'm just like, that is not who you are to your core. Like, I convince myself of that, of them.
You're somebody that sees the good in everybody.
True.
And so when you do have a crush, it's like amplified.
Yeah.
And I think when you have a crush, there are things that you need to do to make sure that if you are an extremist, or you have an extreme personality, or you're just very loving and you're ready to give them everything, that you set rules for yourself if you know that that's how you are.
Yeah, I think that is probably why like in my adulthood, since I hadn't been in a relationship since I was like, 22 to 24 or 25. Like at that time I didn't even know who I was, but then I figured out who I was. And so whenever I started to crush on somebody in my adult life, I was just so ready for that like next step in life that I was like, well, I can work with that. That's forgivable and a forgivable offense. But I think it all comes like to the limelight eventually, and it like hits you in the face almost. It's like, oh, like this thing that you've been ignoring all this time is actually like a real thing.
It's an issue
Yeah.
that now you have to face. I think having rules for yourself when you're in a crush, I think it's super important to like hold yourself to these like non-negotiables for yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, I think rule number 1, no matter what, when you have a crush, you need to have time for yourself always, because that gives you time to reflect on those red flags and say,
totally,
do I like this? Do I not like this? Why am I like ignoring this flag? And really have time to just like reflect on it.
Yeah. And I mean, this is, true across the board, but journaling I think helps a lot with that. Like whenever I was going through this, like last year, I would journal a lot, and I would be like, why do I feel this way? Or like, what am I ignoring here? Like, pros and cons, just to like really make sure that I was not disrespecting myself. But I was adding to that pros list like it was nobody's business.
I think it just comes down to your personality, because I swear on everything, like even in the worst of times, you see the good.
Yeah.
And which
to
is
a
fine.
Fault. To a fault, though.
Yeah, and it can be a fault. I am more like
you see
devil's advocate to a fault.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even when everything is good, I'm like, what's going on?
I love the girl.
What is going on here?
I kind of have this tendency to like, I don't know what the right word is, but like adopt their personality or their lifestyle to like accommodate them, which almost like makes me lose a sense of self, which that has happened to me. So yeah, it's just weird. Like I think if you are like crushing on someone and you're ready to like take that next step, you need to like have your own self identity and
locked.
Locked. Like you need to take that time to like really figure out who you are before,
And even if you are ready and you take that time to, have your self identity in check, I don't think you are ever fully ready to deal with the things that come with a relationship until you're in it. Like
so true.
You do have to figure out, because like let's say you're single for like 2 years and you're like, I'm good, like I know who I myself is, I know how to be alone. But now you're sharing a life with that partner that potentially you want to grow into, a committed relationship and then even like a marriage. And you have to figure who you are in that, right? Like, who you are alone, and that's great. But now how are you in this? And I think you can't really figure that out until you have that in real time. Like
100%.
You can say, okay, if I had this situation, like this is how I would react. But you don't know, because there's another person with a different personality that you also have to keep account and be respectful to and deal with, right? But I think the example of like losing yourself is so true.
Yeah.
For example, I have a friend. When we were in college, actually we were just right out of college, she started dating this guy. And she is very like aesthetic and just like she's very cute, tall, like model, blonde, beautiful thing. And she started dating this guy from West Texas. And this man loved to mud hog.
Oh, we're back to the mud hogging.
Oh,
Shoot.
man. Loved to go hunting. It's duck season. It's deer season. Let's get down and dirty. Let's fucking wear camo. And let's wake up at 4 a.m. and put some fucking moss on myself and just
Moss? Moss on self?
I cannot tell you how quickly I saw this girl go from beautiful, tall, model, city style to the bunker. I mean,
she was wearing camouflage.
She was wearing camouflage. He went all in of like his interests and his likings, and are they together now? Absolutely not. After that relationship, like 2 years after that, she moves to California. She's talking to a guy. All of a sudden, she's living in a van with a beach boy. She's got sand in her hair. She hasn't showered in 5 days. She's like, dude, what's up? Like, just catching a wave. And I'm like, you got to get your shit together.
Dude, that is definitely the extreme side of the spectrum, but I do feel like I low-key adopt personalities when I date people.
Well, it's going back to like you are who you hang out with.
Yeah,
That's true.
And I don't even like think it's wrong. I mean, that is an extreme example.
I'm pretty sure she has no more camo and she gave it away to Salvation Army. Goddamn. Salute.
Yeah, but I can totally relate to that. Like, you know, I'm a bitch with a crush right now, and I swear to God, I am a mini Kevin. Like, I literally talk like him. Everything I say, I'm like, no, there's no way I just said that. And the thing is, I come across like it's my original thought. I'm like, wow, that was hilarious of me. And he's like, dude, I just said that. I'm like, oh, that's so weird.
I think that's okay as long as you don't lose yourself and you give time to be with yourself. It's important to be alone, and also it's important to not give so much too soon.
Yeah.
Because if you give too much too soon, you're going to feel like you're not validated or you're getting taken advantage of without even that person trying for that to happen, unless that person is a piece of shit, and they very well will take advantage of you, because there have been times that has happened to me.
And also me.
And you're like, holy shit, I feel so unappreciated. And then you look back and you're like, wait a second, this person genuinely knew they were taking advantage of me and they did not care.
Yeah, and those are like the red flags that we ignore. And like for me, I've been in that situation where I've given so much and like really put myself out there, and like I don't know if I like over put myself out there. I don't really know. I mean, looking back, yes, but in the moment I didn't feel that way. But yeah, it wasn't appreciated.
Because it's a love language that you're like, this is how I show, like, I like you and I show love, and you don't realize it.
I think like the moral of it is like, protect yourself. Like, you can really like somebody, but you can take it slow, and that is totally fine.
Above all.
Yeah. And like, you know, now, like the relationship that I'm in now, we did take it slow.
Very slow.
And it worked out. And, you know, I think that is like a guideline that can be shared. Like, you know, you don't have to jump into anything. Like, we did get together pretty quickly, but we built an emotional connection before anything else. And that is something that, like, I will always cherish.
But I think I like that about you guys specifically, because y'all did have your time to yourselves. Like, when you guys were first dating, it was like, hey, I'm doing my own thing during the week, and then on the weekend we'll hang out. And then it slowly developed to, like, hey, I'm going to sleep over sometimes and, like, during the week, and it'll be fine.
Right. Kind of. It was, like, a gradual progression. But, you know, sometimes when you got a crush, it doesn't work that way.
It did not work that way with me.
All in.
You took it slow and steady. I took it hot and heavy because I'm an extremist. And I'm not saying that you can't take it fast if that other person is okay with that. Okay, my example is a little different because I feel like me and Coco were on the same page. Mm-hmm. So it worked out. When you find somebody that you're on the same page with and you're not playing games with, like, makes it so much easier. I think it's a lot different from when you're, like, in your early 20s or your late 20s. Do you agree?
Yeah.
That it's, like, less games or
Well, like, in your late 20s, like, we're not just dating to date.
Exactly.
There is an end goal here.
There is an end goal here. We're either together or we're not.
Yeah.
I think. There's people out there that are still trying to fuck around, run it up. But
more power to
not
them.
me.
Gonna be us, though.
Yeah, I'm dating to find something, to find a future partner, etc., etc. My situation was a little different. but it still doesn't mean that you do not take time for yourself and you do not try and find balance. I did not find balance, and luckily for me, it worked out in the end, but I had a lot of anxiety at one point. Okay, so story time. I went to Pittsburgh. I had been talking to this man who smells like coconuts, and that is where I got the name Cocoa Bean, plus he loves coffee, so Cocoa Bean just made sense. Anyways, first of all, I went to Austin with his entire family after just talking to him for a month. And at the time, I was super anxious. It ended up working out for the greater good, but it totally could have exploded on me because literally I don't know this man, and I'm going to Austin to meet his mom, his dad, his best friend, his sister, and his sister's husband. After that, I decided that I was going to go to Pittsburgh, where he was currently living at, for the 4th of July. I had planned to stay there for just 2 days.
Which
and
ended up into what?
Ended up turning into
2 weeks.
Oh no, a month.
1 month.
It was a month, you guys, and it was like I left my entire life and like moved in Pittsburgh.
Mind you, Coco did leave town during this 1 month's time.
Here is why I like look back and I'm like, that was so foul. Don't be like me. Don't be a leech.
Wait, I actually forget about that sometimes. But in your defense, you did have Mr. K with you.
I did. I brought the dog.
And you went to go like explore Mac Miller's hometown. So
I did.
That's gang.
And Coco was okay with it, I think. Up until this day, he's like, I'm cool with it. But, you know, you never know. Maybe he was like, weirdo, but real, though.
Yeah. Weirdo, but she real, though.
Yeah, like, weirdo, but what are you doing? So I'm in Pittsburgh, and we're having a really good time. And, like, it comes down to, like, time for me to check into my flight. I'm like, I don't want to go. Like, I want to hang out with you. Like, we were doing long distance at this time. So it was like, when am I going to see you next? And his schedule is so busy. He's always traveling for work. So I'm like, when am I going to see you again? Like, this kind of sucks. So he's like, just stay. It's fine. So the first time around, I'm like, cool. I changed my flight. All good. Next time it comes around, we had a late night the night before I had to leave. And I was like, I really don't want to go. And my, like, flight is super late. And he's like, well, then don't go. So I changed my flight again, and they were like so cool with it. He was so chill with it. But then the third time that I needed to change my flight, he's like, I have a boys trip. Like, I'm leaving to go to Colorado to hang out with all my guy friends, and I'm going for a weekend. I'm like, yeah, and he's like, you know, but like we were having so much fun. I'm like, yeah, we're having like so much fun. I'm like, I know this is so crazy, but should I stay? Mind you, like, he's like in between like moving to like his new apartment potentially in Austin. So he's like temporarily living with his parents, like, because he had just moved from San Francisco. He's going to move to Austin. And his parents are also leaving to go to Michigan. So, long story short, I stayed and I house sat basically, and I dropped him off at the airport with his own damn car. He leaves me food, so sweet of them, and I call Emily and I'm like, girl, have I overstayed my welcome? And Emily, being the super transparent person that she is, she's like, well, bestie, I gotta say, you do be overstaying your welcome.
It does seem to be an overstay. The data shows that you've overstayed.
Yep. I was like, I'm in their house. I've only been dating this man for X amount of time. I'm on their couch watching their Hulu, eating their food, going into their pantry, using their Peloton. I mean, do not be like me.
So whose Peloton account were you on? Because I know you gotta have an account to be riding that shit.
I made my own profile.
No, you didn't.
On their bike. I used his mom's shoes. I mean, full blown. overstayed my welcome.
Okay, my sister-in-law did that after 6 years of dating. So yeah, 6 days, that works too, I guess.
This is 6 weeks times
Okay,
2.
6 weeks.
This was 6
days,
weeks.
6 weeks.
6
that's
weeks,
a
whatever.
difference.
Same thing. Anyways, I did have like a full-blown panic attack, and I was like, ah, shit. Should I leave right now?
Like, no.
No, but then his dad was like, you have to watch my tomatoes and like water them. So I was like, damn, I got no other choice but to stay here.
Freaking Jimbo.
And I
act like I know Jimbo. Met him one
Jimbo's
time on
a
the
legend.
street.
One time on the street like 2 days ago, basically.
Guys, I literally got zooted and went to go grab coffee last week during Thanksgiving. And who the hell did I run into?
Jimbo, the legend.
No, not just Jimbo. The whole damn family. The whole family on the street. And I was just like,
hello.
Hey, gang. Jimbo, where's your salsa? I can eat it right now. I'm zooted.
Oh, my God. Luckily, his family and Coco, they're just like so cool and so easygoing that like all good. Yeah. But had it been any other person, it would have probably blown up in my face. Don't be like me. Don't be like me. But it's worked out for the better. We live together and it's all good. It worked out for the best. But yeah, don't be a leech. Bitches with crushes, you know what I'm saying?
God, that's a thing. That's a thing right there. Bitches with crushes be leeching.
Yeah. I think 95% of the time it doesn't work out that way because people love to play games and people love to pretend, and it's really hard to get deep quick. We are people that when we want to have a conversation, we want to meet people, like we're ready to see what's up as far as like their depth goes. Like if you're not giving me a conversation that has depth and shows like really who you are far aside from the surface level, you don't necessarily have to go that far. But if you're just surface level, like I cannot do it and I cannot continue on.
Yeah, I think like females especially, and I think we touched on this last time, but you know, emotional depth is one thing, but like, you know, intellectual depth too. Like you want to be able to get to both of those points, and if you reach it at a quick stage, then that's what it is. Like, I mean, that just tells you that you can get there with that person and that there's potential to grow that. And I think that happened with the both of us. Like we met someone and
it just worked.
Yeah, they had that emotional depth and, you know, intellectual depth, and you know,
I think it's easier, like I said, it's easier in your late 20s than it is in your early 20s. It's hard to find somebody when you're 24, 25 and say, "Oh, I'm settling down here." Yeah. Cuz there's just so much life to live. Like me and you are both, you know, like I'm 28, there's even at this stage
in your mid 20s, like that is really where you get to know yourself as an individual.
Yeah. You are not, I think that you're not done even, like I said, like we didn't even get to like real adulthood till like maybe now. I don't even think I'm there. Like I still think I have so much to do. Yeah. And so I think the dating in this day and age is complex.
God, that's another topic.
Yeah,
we'll get another time.
We'll get into that.
God, that is, it's rowdy out there, I would say.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that if you're crushing on someone, like you can have this like lust for them, and don't be thinking with your coochies.
Do not.
Because that will trip you up.
And that will make you feel empty at the end of the day.
Truly.
Empty.
Like what you really want is an emotional connection and someone that understands you, and I don't know, like
comfort.
Yeah.
Like you even told me, you were texting me on Thanksgiving, it's easy. I feel like I can be myself. I feel like I don't have to put a front. I don't feel a lot of pressure. It's just simple and I'm okay to be myself. Yeah. That is a tell sign that like things are good and you should keep it going.
Yeah. People put all these like steps into a relationship. Like, you know, after this amount of time you can do this. After, it's just like, just do what feels right. And if you're with somebody that like you feel comfortable with and trust them, and like for me it was like if I get along with him so well, he is like a product of his family. Yeah. And there's just no way that I wouldn't get along with them as well.
I agree.
So
trust your gut.
Yeah.
It's always trust your gut. Take the time to be alone. Do not lose commitment to yourself, to your friends, to anything. Keep time to yourself and make sure that you don't do too much too soon, especially if you have this like weird intuition that like, oop, red flag that I might be ignoring.
Yeah.
But if it feels comfortable, if it feels good, keep going, explore, and let it happen how it is. You know what I mean?
Red flags happen, but not every red flag is like a reason to end it. Like, just listen to your heart and your gut, like Mara said. Like, you have to listen. But, sometimes those red flags do be a sign. That comes with knowing yourself.
Your gut intuition is 98% right. 100%. Always. Like, because even if you see a red flag, 98%. Because even if you see a red flag, like, your gut will feel it. Like,
yeah,
I don't feel good. The only way that you would look past it is like your gut is telling you, hey, red flag, alert, alert. And you're saying, yeah, okay, cool, I'm going to ignore you.
Yeah.
That's the only time that you'll make a mistake.
I used to do that.
And other than that,
pay off.
It does not pay off. And I did that too in past relationships.
You have to know yourself better than anyone else can know you.
Because otherwise you'll be easily influenced. You'll be easily changed.
If you know everything about yourself, no one can tell you shit.
Keep promises to yourself, especially when you're in a crush.
Set boundaries.
Keep time to yourself. Always keep time to yourself no matter what. So
that's important.
Pro tip.
Oh.
Bonus tip.
Ooh, bonus content.
If you're a bitch with a crush and your crush has not made a move,
make the first move,
ask
baby.
guys if they like it.
World.
Make the first move. Dating apps are fucking insane. So many men holding up fish. Foul.
Never been attracted to a fish.
Do not do that.
Or a man with a fish.
I think it's better to do it in person. And here's a pro tip. If you're somewhere and you see your crush often, whether it's at the gym or at work or whatever, 100% of the time this works. I did this in college.
Ask him for drinks.
I would put my number on a piece of paper and I would give it to them. But here's the thing. You have to do it as soon as you're leaving. You can't do it.
No, you can't
like you can't do it in the
around.
beginning of your workout, or you can't do it at the beginning of your work shift or whatever. No, you can't stick around. You have to give the number and ghost.
God forbid we have that face-to-face interaction immediately.
No, you say, here's my number. You give them a little piece of paper. You go up to them and you say, call me sometime. And you walk away. You have to walk away. You have to leave the premise.
That's confidence-ass behavior.
You give them your number and you say, you should call me sometime. And you walk away. And you wait. And you wait. And you wait. And you wait. And if they text you, you're in the golden zone, baby.
Whoa. See, I do not have the confidence like that.
Even if you don't have the confidence, but you have time to go away and leave.
Yeah.
Ghost.
Oh my God, I would be shaking. Call me sometime.
You just say, call me sometime, you turn around and leave. 100% of the time, it works. Anyways, thanks for hanging out with us. We're back. We missed a week, but we back, baby.
Yeah, we back. And we won't be missing any more weeks. Maybe Christmas. Wait, no, I think Christmas. Oh.
We're going to be able to figure out a way to probably anything that comes out between now and we're probably going to be pre-recording. Just letting you guys know.
Yeah, sorry about that. But it has to be done.
But this is real time. Right now.
Real time.
Anyways, thanks for hanging out with us. This is
Retired Chaos.
Retired Chaos. Bye.
Bye.